Azaria told you about her favorite book, so I decided I should tell you about my favorite book. Everything by Nicola Yoon, all-time favorite book. Not only is it an easy read, it's definitely a day read, but it also helped my writing career times a million. So everything, there's like this girl who never leaves her house because her mom convinced her that if she does, she'll like die. So she's always in her house, and then a cute boy moves in and they're like IMing and texting. And I love texting scripts. I love texting scripts, or like IM or email. I love that kind of script. And then they end up falling in love with each other, and he has an abusive dad. So she sees the dad hit him and she runs out of the house, and her mom's like, "What the hell? You don't even know this boy." And she's like, "Oh." And then she's like, if I'm gonna die, or actually, no, she's like, I can't live like this. I love Ollie and I want to go see Hawaii. And so she convinces Ollie that she has like these pills to take so that she won't die. And they fly to Hawaii, casual, and just like enjoy themselves. And then she passes out. And in Hawaii, the doctor says that she doesn't have that like have to stay home issue. And she's like, "So my mom's been lying to me for like 18 years. And he's like, "Yeah." And so she goes back, and her mom's like, "Well, I did it because when I lost your dad and brother, I knew I couldn't go through with that again." And I think that's when she like breaks up with Ollie, because he's like, "Okay, well, you should be with me." And she's like, "I can't, I need to be with my mom." And that was sad. And then she goes and finds Ollie. But what was so good, obviously the love, obviously the main character, but what I really, really, really loved, for me as a person, I really love like the end of a book. It like cinches everything together. And in this book, they were in Hawaii and they went to a bookstore, casual, and The Little Prince, I think they got The Little Prince. And then at the end of the book, she finds Ollie in New York and sets up some sort of scavenger hunt, and he like stumbles upon The Little Prince. And okay, yeah, so in her book, I think in all of her books, she always wrote a reward if found. And in this book that she led Ollie to, she said, "Snorkel with me, Madeline, off something to spot the Hawaiian state fish, the Huma Numa Naka." I can only say it in the High School Musical song. And she crossed that out because they went to Hawaii and did that. And then she said, "A visit with me, Madeline, to a used bookstore." They did that in Hawaii as well, where she found her copy of The Little Prince. And then the last one says, "Reward if found, me, Madeline." And so Ollie goes to the bookstore because she texted him and was like, "Find this book." And he sees her and he's like, "Found your book." And then so why this book was so important to me as a reader and an author, and this could be just because of my own ignorance, and also, as we know, the publishing industry and how they do not push Black authors. But this was also a while ago, but they also still don't. Is I feel like this was the first book that I read in a very, 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 very long time that one had a Black female main character, and actually, I think that was it. But when I saw that a Black woman was writing a Black female main character, I was like, "Oh, I can write Black characters." Because in my debut novel, honestly, in all of my whips before I read this book, my characters were white just because that's what I've seen. And ain't that some shit? So then, thanks to Nicola Yoon, I read this book, changed all my characters, thank you. And it just really helped my writing because it's more, I don't want to say personal, but just more of what I know in my culture, in my understanding of how I have been raised in this life. So, yes, Black people write, Black people exist, Black, 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 Black. The funny thing is, if you ask me how I came across this book, I could not tell you. So it's fate. And I did meet Nicola Yoon once, and it was the greatest thing in the world. She came to Indianapolis, and she was at the downtown library. And this is how important this was to me. I was brutally hungover, y'all. Brutally. I was like, I don't know if I can stand up straight. Like, all I could do was be on a flat surface laying down. But I went and heard her talk, and I was a bad girl because after the talk, they were like, oh, we'll sign books. But I was like, I'm gonna need a one-on-one. So I went downstairs and talked to her for a little bit. And then I made sure I was like the last book signer so I can talk to her some more. And even though the advice that she gave me didn't work out because I was still in Delulu land thinking that as soon as I write a book, people will be knocking down my door because I'm Black, and my school didn't tell me that I had to pretty much beg or like have the greatest karma of all time. Anyway, even though her traditional publishing advice didn't pan out for me, I still just love and adore her. She has done so much for me, for love, for me, for my writing career, reading. Like, her books are always like done in a day. And I really, 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 really love Nicola Yoon because she don't come out with a book every year, people. So I can actually keep up with her catalog. So as a reader, I really appreciate it. As a writer, she has done me beyond, and this is my favorite book. And then I just want to give you some highlights of Taylor Bridgeforth. I'm gonna give you 23 highlights of me and my favorite things and my this or that's. And 23 because I was born on the 23rd, so I really just like accepted that as my number, thus one now. My favorite gum, I'm not a gum chewer, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I need some gum. Hubba Bubba. OG Hubba Bubba. Not that cotton candy shit, not the gooey stuff in the middle. No. Straight up Hubba Bubba. Pink. The end. Girl, the way I love my breakfast is very basic. Give me some scrambled eggs with cheese, scrambled in, not just a blob of cheese on top, and then hash browns, and then bacon and toast. It's easy. You can never mess it up unless you just put a glob of cheese on top of my eggs. I'm like, what is this? My favorite store, I have two, so that's going to count as 3 and 4. My favorite store is the closest indie books shop, and your girl loves Old Navy. Loves Old Navy. My favorite like sweet treat is donuts, specifically from Long's Donuts. This is an Indianapolis staple. If you don't know, now you do. And if you're ever like, I should treat Taylor's to some donuts, don't go to Krispy Kreme, don't go to Jack's. If you're in Indianapolis, go to Long's. I'm willing to try other donuts, staples from other states, but if you're in Indianapolis and you're like, Taylor deserves a donut. 1, I do. And 2, Long's. Yeast. You're not supposed to have a favorite child, but we have 2 dogs and 2 cats. The cats came with Nick. I had Chandler. We got Joey together. My favorite child is Chandler. And if you knew Joey, you would know why. Love him. Love all my kids, but... So I work at a bookstore and we also serve drinks. So I'm really getting into like cocktails. And right now my favorite drink of sorts is a French 75. It's very refreshing. And we have a lavender lemonade that you can spruce up with either champagne or like club soda. Either way. My favorite app is TikTok. I love making them. I love watching them. I love sending them to my friends. My favorite writer must-have is notebooks. I have more notebooks than I will be able to deal with. Oh well. On God, you would think my favorite month is May, considering that's the month that I was born in, but it's always been April. I love April. I feel like it's my favorite season is spring, so I just feel like that's the most springiest month, and I just love it. And I love rain. I don't hate rain. I love rain. My favorite holiday is Loving Day, considering I'm in a interracial relationship. And I'll leave it at that. Not about my relationship, but just the state of the world. Okay. My favorite outfit, I love like a crew neck or a long sleeve and shorts, or joggers and like a tank top. Just something where I could be cold, but not too cold, because at least half my body is covered. That's also like the perfect spring outfit. My favorite genre for reading and hopefully writing is definitely romance, as well as like some sort of psychological drama, thriller, mystery. Romance, yes, check. But I don't know if I can write psychological or not. I would say what I'm currently writing is like a drama mystery. Yeah. If I had to choose between the beach or the mountains, I would choose the mountains because I hate sand. Hate it. My favorite activity is walking. I love a good walk. I've been like craving a hike right now in my life. Still haven't done it. I was gonna go for my birthday, but now I think I'm gonna go to like this dog bar park because but I still want to go on a hike in life this year. Passenger princess, but you knew that. I would definitely prefer a TV series versus a movie. I just want to be with the people as long as possible, I guess. Like, I'm watching sporadically NCIS, and like it was fun, but now it's just like I'm just in it, you know. Playlist or series, I say playlist. Or excuse me, playlist or podcast, I say playlist. Because yeah, I talk a lot, and the last thing I want is to hear somebody else talk. But thank you for listening to my podcast and my TED Talks on TikTok. And this truth or dare, I would choose truth. I'm like obsessed with honesty. My mom always said liars are losers, so. Early riser or night owl? Neither. My best time for my best self is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Would I choose invisibility or to fly? It would be to fly, but specifically teleportation, because I feel like flying, you get bugs in your mouth and in your eyes, and I'm not about that. And also I don't want to mess up my hair, so I just want to like, ooh, from one place to another. Shower or bath? Shower. I feel like the only time a bath looks inviting is if it's like only a bath, not a shower bath. So I would need like a clawfoot tub to take a bath. But not even take a bath, just like sit in hot water. And then last but not least, my favorite character in my current work in progress, his name is Nugget, which is really funny because I read something from Azaria and she had a nugget. And I was like, oh my God, because I thought I was original. Anyway, I love Nugget in my current work in progress. He is a true loyal friend, and I love friendship. I don't know if it's because my favorite television show is Friends, but like friendship all the way. And if you got a nugget, you keep and listen to your nugget, and you will see what I mean next year. Okay, so that was the end of my favorite book and some of my favorite things. If we have anything in common, let me know. Otherwise, let me know your favorite book. And what I think is funny about myself is that I have a favorite book, everything. I have a favorite author, Nicola Yoon and Kennedy Ryan. And they're both romance. But when it comes to like the psychological thriller, mystery, drama of life, I don't have a favorite author. So that's interesting. I find that to be interesting because I definitely gravitate more to that genre versus romance. Unless I've read too many of that genre. So it's just the genre. It's also the Gemini. My two personalities. I either love you or I could